All right, so now we're going to go ahead and shade in our paper crane. Now you notice my drawing is a lot lighter than it was in the last one. Please remember you're drawing light so that you can erase your lines and so that when you shade, it becomes a little bit more clear. Now what I would say is if we look at this crane up close, that if we were to divide this into a value scale, that the wing in the back is absolutely the brightest. So right here, and let me get back to this layer where it's the wing in the back is going to be the brightest. The wing in the front is probably going to be the darkest. So this is probably a level 0 or 1. This is probably a level maybe 4 or 5. Now, if we go back here to the tail, it might be a level 3. And if we go back here to the head, also maybe a level 3. I'm really going to look at the difference between these two and decide which one is lighter and which one is darker. And I really do think that this is darker, so we're going to make that level 4. This part right here does kind of match this part right here, so we're going to also make that a level 5. So when we shade it, we notice that we're going to go ahead and leave this wing probably just white. And then we'll shade the tail in to level 3, the head and neck into level 4, and this part into level 5. So let's hide that layer where we have all that information. We're going to add another layer on top. We go back down to our drawing. So I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of that, but you may want to go ahead and try a little bit yourself if you think you know what you're doing. You can also go to the time-lapse part of this and just watch that. So go ahead and we're going to shade in this part. That's too dark. All right, so let's see if we can figure that out. There we go. All right, so we'll shade the tail in. Let's see if that works a little bit better this time. There we go. A nice light gray. All right, and then we can shade this wing in. A nice all hatching and cross hatching. Into a little bit darker. And try to, since we have sections with where the folds are, we don't have to shade the whole wing at the same time. Try to stay within those sections. All right, so then we can shade this. So we actually notice this part is even a little bit darker. So if you wanted to make this a couple more layers of hatching and cross hatching, you can. You can see I'm just changing my angle back and forth. Same thing over here. Shade it in until it looks like a level 5. You can make a value scale on the side if you want to make for sure. Now these bottom parts here are a little bit lighter, but we can shade this all in to a level 3 maybe. And then maybe we'll darken this back up to a level 5. All right, we know that the neck, now you can see that the wing and the back tail still look kind of the same. So we're going to add another layer to make this a little bit darker. All right, we can also work a little bit on the areas that we see dark lines. Go ahead and make a line if we see a dark shadow. We don't want to make any lines where we don't see dark shadows because we really want our lines to reflect the shadows and not something else. And I actually notice that this line goes a little bit more that way. Luckily there's a shadow here, so I'm just going to make this into a shadow so that that line doesn't cause any problems. We want the nice dark line to match that angle. All right, there's a nice dark line here as well, so we can make that. Nice dark line down there, like so. All right, so then the front, we can go ahead and shade that in. Now my cross-hatching and hatching is a little scribbly because I'm trying to go fast for you guys. But remember, you really can make these lines pretty exacting. All right, so now that would probably be the basic shades here. Now we're going to go in and we'll stop the video so you guys can pause for a minute.